So the Premier League is back and underway, and we're into game week number 2. Yeah, I missed one. Don't tell anyone. Oh, you already know. So I'm going to make my mission to go through the whole season and doing a Premier League prediction each week for each game week. And at the end of the whole year, I'm going to see how well I did. I'm going to give myself a point if I got the right result. I won't get a point if obviously I don't get the right result. And I'm going to give myself 4 points if I get the right score, because that hardly ever happens. Now, like I said, I did miss game week 1. I only decided to do this today. So let's just all ignore game week 1. I mean, I did pretty well on my Super 6. How did you do? Let me know. Let me know how you did. Yeah, let's get straight into it and start predicting some of these game weeks. Brighton versus Manchester United. Now, Brighton looked good in that first game against Everton, but I do feel like as the season goes on, some teams are going to start to figure them out. Now, Man United got really lucky with their late goal, so I just don't see them picking up a point in this game at all, unfortunately. So it's going to have to be Brighton 2, Man United 1. Crystal Palace versus West Ham. It's a tricky one to predict, this one, because you had both teams had an absolute howler from the referees, but it came out with different outcomes for each team. So you had Eze get that incredible free kick ruled out by a referee making a stupid decision and blowing the whistle early. And then you had a West Ham with the referee being a West Ham fan and deciding to award a penalty for what really wasn't a penalty. Just really wasn't. Not even a little bit. Yeah, they still lost, so West Ham. Now, I do think Palace will have a bit of a slow start this season, but they'll kick on later on, don't you worry. And West Ham, they still need time to, gel. They've got a lot of new players, a new manager, so it's still going to take a little bit of time for it all to click. So I've got to sit on the fence in this one. So I'm saying Crystal Palace 1, West Ham 1. Fulham versus Leicester. Unfortunately for Fulham, I just don't see where the goals are coming from at this moment. I'm sure they will come later on in the season. Smith Rowe will definitely get there, but just at this moment in time, I don't see it. Now, mark my words, Leicester are going to get a last-minute winner. Jamie Vardy's going to down another can of Red Bull, and he's going to score an absolute screamer. I'm calling it right now. It's going to be, at the end of this game, Fulham 0, Leicester 1. Manchester City versus Ipswich. It's been a horrible start for Ipswich. Not in terms of how they played. Against Liverpool, they played amazing. But coming up against Liverpool and Man City in the first 2 games back in the Premier League, it's probably quite fun for the fans, but at the same time, they're crying inside. Now, I know, like I said, Ipswich, you played really well against Liverpool in that first half. The second half, Liverpool just came out a different team, so can't really say too much about it. But Man City are a different beast, so I'm so sorry, Ipswich. I can't see it any other way than going Man City 5, Ipswich 0. It's gotta be a hammering. Southampton versus Nottingham Forest. This could be a massive game come the end of the season for, those relegation places. Now, I think Forest will be fine this season, but I still think you're going to be down there in that little mix there. So it could be a big game when we get to that point. But I'm pretty sure in this game, my boy, Morgan Gibbs-White, he's going to come in with a couple of banging goals for myself in my FPL team. I can just see it happening. So I'm going to have to go with Southampton 1, Forest 2, Tottenham versus Everton. This could be an upset for Spurs, This really could be. I can just see it. I can have this weird vision that Romero still has Jamie Vardy, the spirit of him in the back of his mind, just giving him all of that. And I just feel like, Romero, he's just going to not be able to take it and just stick the ball in the back of his own net. Should I put a bet on that? Romero to score an own goal? You never know. It could happen. You never know. It might. So for this one, I'm going to have to go with Spurs 1, Everton 2. I know. Call me crazy. Aston Villa versus Arsenal. Right. Here we go. This is going to be the game of the weekend. I can tell you right now. 2 absolutely fantastic teams playing against each other. But if you didn't know, I am an Aston Villa fan. I don't know if you can tell that or not. But I do know a little thing about Villa, and I know that at home, we are a different monster. We are just unstoppable at home, or at least we were last season. We had a little bit of a blip towards the end of the season, but we were pretty knackered. So I can just see it. I can see it. Hopefully, it will be a nice, we'll hold on. I reckon Arsenal are going to have all of the possession. But I think that once again, John Duran, the little pain in the ass that he is just going to come out with another absolute banger of a goal to secure us the win. So I'm going with Aston Villa 2, Arsenal 1. Right then, on to Sunday, and on Sunday the first game we have is Bournemouth versus Newcastle. Now, the Cherries are going to be fine this season without Solanke. I can already see it coming. They're going to be absolutely fine. There's going to be no problems with them. But it is going to take a little bit for their brand new striker to start to, you know, get used to the Premier League. I'm sure by the end of the season he's going to bag 9-10 goals probably, but right now, just not quite yet. At Newcastle, they're going to carry on their great start to the season. It's going to be a nice Bournemouth 0, Newcastle 2. Wolves versus Chelsea. Now, I don't see Wolves winning many games at all this season. I think they're going to manage to stay afloat by, you know, just getting draw after draw after draw, just dragging out some results out of nowhere. But this game, I definitely see them winning this one. I mean, it's pretty easy to beat Chelsea at the moment. The club is an absolute shambles. Like, the manager hasn't got a clue what he's doing. He's just blurting out a load of random stuff and just making himself look like a right tit. You've got them paying a ridiculous amount of money for a load of League One standard players. It's just not good for Chelsea. So I'm going to have to go for a Wolves 1, Chelsea 0. And lastly, Liverpool versus Brentford. Now, Slot is the perfect person for Liverpool. I'm telling you right now. Everyone was saying they're going to drop off and things. They're still going to be right up there this season. I'm telling you right now. They're going to be up there. He's just a really good manager. He understands the club. He understands the players. I can really see him doing really well at Liverpool. So, with that being said, Brentford, I'm sorry you ain't got a chance in this game. It's going to be Liverpool 3. Brentford 0. So there we go. There are my Game Week 2 predictions for the Premier League. Let me know how I did down in the comments if you think there's any absolute shocker predictions there. Chelsea fans, come at me. I can take it. Yeah, from you lot. Let's see what you can do. And also, let me know your predictions down there as well. And let's see who gets more right. Me or you guys. You never know. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. You've been watching Little Sinners. I've been Nathan Sanford. I'll see you in a bit.